talk about 3 pillars of family organization. Can we touch on those?
Yes. So the 3 pillars of family organization. Pillar number 1 is decluttering, because if you are just trying to organize your clutter, you could spend 30 minutes organizing and it is still going to look bad, right? And let me just offer this with the caveat. I am not a minimalist, not by any means. I don't know if you've heard the new term that's floating around, grand millennial. It's basically a millennial, which I'm barely in the age range, but a millennial that decorates like their grandma. So, we love the florals and, it's not minimalist at all. So I'm not a minimalist. I don't advocate minimalism unless that's what you like. But a decluttered space is so much easier and it is so much faster to organize. It just is. So, and I actually advocate a different type of decluttering. I don't advocate, like a 72-hour decluttering spree, like a Marie Kondo style decluttering where you just get it all done, because that is not actually sustainable. And Marie Kondo has actually gone on to say, like, don't try this with kids because it actually doesn't work. So it's more of a decluttering lifestyle. I basically spend 3 to 5 minutes every single day of my life decluttering. And I have a systematic way I work through the house. And so every part of my house gets hit once a month, basically. And so what I do, the 3 pillars of decluttering or of organization, you start with the decluttering. So you spend 3 to 5 minutes decluttering, and then you spend 3 to 5 minutes organizing. It's like 1, 2. So all in, it's like 6 minutes. And I don't know about you, but I spend way more than 6 minutes scrolling around on my phone every day. So everybody has 6 minutes. Don't tell me you don't. And then the 3rd pillar of organization is just making sure to touch it once a month. And you do that by just, I have a plan. I can give you the link to download my little freebie thingy, but it's basically top to bottom, like every area of your house is touched every 30 days. And does it get completely decluttered and organized in a month? No, absolutely not. Like, you can't do that. However, if you stay consistent, after about 2, 3, 4 months, depending on how much clutter you have, you will be amazed at how actually it is. Like, it builds on itself if you stay consistent and, do a little bit every day. And I mean, anybody has 6 minutes, right? I mean, you just
absolutely
do.
It doesn't feel overwhelming. Like when you think of a 72-hour declutter, I think,
yeah,
oh my God,
you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
No. No, I don't.
Not at all.
But 6 to 10 minutes a day, that just feels like something that I can do quite quickly. And if I know there's a payoff and over time I will begin to see it, that feels like something doable, something I can get behind and be consistent. So
right.
I love
and the
beauty
of it is, not only is it doable, but then the way that you got there is the way that you stay there. So after 3 or 4 months, you have this decluttered and beautifully organized home, and you just keep going. And so it just gets better and better as you go. And then you never end up like opening your child's closet and an avalanche of papers and rocks and like, I mean, because kids are clutter monsters. I mean, they just really are. God love them. But, I mean, they just collect, so badly. And so it's really good too, for them to see mom setting the habit, so that then they can start setting the habit when they're younger, so that when they go off as adults, they don't have all of these bad habits in place. They're used to, constantly keeping their stuff decluttered and organized. And it sets the stage for a beautiful life.
You know what? I think that's probably been the first time that I felt a hint of excitement around the topic of chores, because it felt like something that was actually sustainable and not overwhelming. And it also felt like something that my kids could get behind quite easily, because I'm not asking them to spend an hour on a Saturday. Let's everybody an hour, and by the time we're all done, we should have a home that's fairly tidy. That's not what I'm asking. 10 minutes a day, everybody can get behind. And my kids are also like, I have one son who loves to collect stuff from nature. So his room is filled with rocks and sticks. And it's always, and I'm the one always trying to kind of pull them away when I'm not really instilling that habit of him learning to declutter by him doing it himself.
Right.
So I really love the idea of just 10 minutes a day and being consistent with it.
Yeah.
You also talk about recognizing that there are seasons within families. And I wanted to touch on that, especially because the time we're in, really still trying to navigate a global pandemic, but probably for the first time feeling completely overwhelmed because we're all in the same place and the clutter is going to be climbing and the mess. And if moms don't get a handle on the teamwork, you can feel like ripping your hair out. So let's talk about seasons and how we need to be mindful of that with regards to changing what our family approaches to chores.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing I want to say in regards to seasons, and especially in regards to the pandemic, is let's think about it this way. Let's think about, you already have your home clean, organized, decluttered. Everyone has their chores and it's just running nice and smoothly. So all of a sudden your home doesn't feel like a place you need to get away from anymore. Your home is your center and it is where you go to feel most comfortable. It's where your kids love to be because it's clean, it's fresh, it's organized. There's no more screaming mom saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe," there's no more of that. It is what it was actually meant to be. It actually is home sweet home. And it provides so much emotional stability in a time where everything feels unstable. Okay. So that's like what we're all going for. And that's what home has the capability of being. And that's what us, as moms, that's what we have the capability of bringing forth in our homes, is that home sweet home where it just feels so good. And so you're not itching to just get away from it. Okay. So that's what we're all aiming for. Now, the different seasons, before the pandemic hit, we were in a season of, shuttling different kids to sports and different, social activities. We homeschool, so there's a little bit less of that for us in that I'm not taking the kids to and from school, but we were involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. And so it kind of feels like you're never there to actually do the work, right? Unless it's a weekend. And so the way that I've designed my system, and, when I was putting all this together, I was not thinking one day I'm going to go forth and bring it to all moms everywhere. It was just me trying to survive, right? And so basically I established 3 different levels of home management. You have proactive survival mode. And that's not like, being in the same leggings for 5 days straight and you go through a whole bottle of dry shampoo before you take a shower. That's not what this survival mode is. This survival mode, you're actually still moving the needle forward and you are put together and you feel like you can conquer the world. So that's proactive survival mode. And that's for our busiest days when we're going all over the place and barely home. But the needle in your home still gets to be moved forward. And then there's stage 1, which is survival mode plus a few more. That's when the kids are doing their chores that day. There's the decluttering, there's the organizing going on. Everybody has their set chores and they get done. And then there's stage 2, which is all of those things plus some deep cleaning. Okay. Because you don't have to be deep cleaning every day. Nobody wants to deep clean every day. It's gross. Like nobody wants to do that. And, it's like nobody has time to do that. But if we did, we wouldn't want to do it still. So So, stage 2 in my home, it only happens once a week. And that is plenty. Like we get it done. Some of my older kids have a few stage 2 chores. I have stage 2 chores. My husband has stage 2 chores. So once a week, we just, do our little thing and it's done. But most of the days I live in stage 1, but then I have 2 days a week that I am in survival mode on purpose. One of those days is a very busy schedule day, but the other day is Sunday because I just want to take a break. And so I do. Yeah. So it's different seasons where you can, if you need to be more survival mode heavy throughout your week, then you can. Or if it's a season like in the pandemic, where it's mostly stage 1 days with, 1 or 2 stage 2 days thrown in. It's very flexible, and you get to move in and move out. The difference is you're proactively choosing what you're going to be doing that day instead of just letting your circumstances dictate the way that you're going to go forth into your day. So it's one of those mindset shifts. It's like, I'm the boss of my day. My day is not the boss of me. So it's subtle, but it's kind of life-changing, and it's home-changing for sure.
I love that. Okay, so for families, moms especially, that have struggled with getting chores to happen as a family. So we're the ones that we've been doing lion's share all the time. And now we recognize, okay, there is a better way. Where do we start?
So the easiest way to start and really get your kids on board is what I like to call the 5-minute family cleanup. And you're probably thinking like, that is not going to do it. But it is. It is. Okay. So the reason why the 5-minute family cleanup is so powerful is because it is literally 5 minutes. You set a literal timer for 5 minutes and you tell your kids, hey kids, we're all going to come into this room. I'm setting the timer for 5 minutes. Everybody work as hard and as fast as you can. When this timer goes off, you are done and I release you. And then you actually do it. You actually let them go. Now, if you have one that's giving you the bad attitude, because there's one in every family, then you just say, hey, if you don't pull your weight, then you're going to have to do an extra 5 minutes by yourself. But the beauty of the 5-minute family cleanup is that 5 minutes is such a short amount of time, but it is so powerful. If you're working together as a team, you can get a full room cleaned up in 5 minutes. And even every time I do it, and we do it daily, I'm still amazed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that we just did that. But for the kids, what it does for the children, it gives them a definite start and a definite ending. Whereas before, I'm willing to bet, before on a Saturday, you're like, hey kids, we need to clean up this house. And that's all you say, right? And if they're like, well, for how long? They're like, until it's done, right? There's no definite, so then the kids are like, but what does that mean? When is it done? Like, by whose standard? Like, she's literally going to hold us hostage here forever, And so they're panicked, and all they can think of is their lost Saturday. They're feeling sorry for themselves. They're starting to do the martyr thing. Like, the only reason my mom had me was so that I would clean up the house on Saturdays, right? So, and mom's doing her own martyr thing because the kids are giving her pushback. She's like, I can't believe I had these kids and they don't appreciate, everybody's being martyrs. Whereas if you say 5 minutes, that's all I need from you, but I need your best, and you turn on some upbeat music, most of the time, the kids, when the timer goes off, they're like looking around like, what? And then you keep your word and you're like, goodbye, go, I release you. Wait. Now, if you have a home that 5 minutes really isn't quite enough and you need to call them back, say, hey, just FYI, go do what you want for an hour or two. I'm going to call everybody back in, 2 hours, and we're going to do another 5 minutes, but it's only going to be another 5 minutes. It's a great way to introduce your kids to the chores. It's a great way for you to practice being Mary Poppins. You turn on the music, the kids start to trust you, because you said 5 minutes and you stuck to your word. You were cleaning with them. Everyone's smiling. It's a super, super powerful realization. And so many times, every time I go into our Facebook group for people who have bought the program, I'll be scrolling through and I'll see, we just did the 5-minute family cleanup for the first time. I can't believe how well that worked. I mean, it's magical. It is like Mary Poppins magic, basically, so that's where
I love it. And I know we've had 5-minute times, but not with that fun. We've had 5-minute times when the living room was a mess and we had impromptu guests, and it's like, right, everybody in, we need to clean before they knock on the door.
Yes.
And so I know 5 minutes is enough to leave a room looking like, wow. But I think adding that fun element and also showing the kids, look, it's a short time. It's a short time. There's a start and an end that you can see. It's something that I can see even my kids can easily really just get behind. Because mom's not asking for your whole day. She's not asking you to give up all the things that you had planned to do for your relaxation time to do chores. Just 5 minutes.